Welcome. Today I am joined by Rachel, who is going to be sharing her healing story. And I'm so grateful for Rachel to come here today and to show people what's possible. I'd love for you to start at the beginning where you received a health diagnosis and what that felt like and what path you chose.
So yeah, I work in healthcare, and we were one of the first cohorts that were advised to have the vaccine. So I wasn't 100% sure if I did actually want to have it. Um, but in the end, I decided that I would have it. Within 48 hours of having the vaccine, I started to feel unwell. I can't even pinpoint the exact symptoms. It was just just almost flu-like symptoms that I had. This went on for the rest of the week, and I thought it must be a reaction to the vaccine because I could feel all my glands. But I thought, okay, I was told that that would be maybe a side effect of it. So okay, I'll just bear with it. So that went on, and then it went on a little bit further, and I went to my GP, who suggested that I have a scan because she felt my neck and my thyroid and felt that there was a definite swelling, and I was still feeling very, really unwell. So went and had a scan of my neck, and sure enough, my thyroid was very swollen. Never in my life had any problems with my thyroid before. So I knew that this must be something, to do with, unfortunately, the vaccine. So that continued and went back again to the doctor, and she referred me to endocrinologist after the results came back that my thyroid was underactive. So I didn't have the typical symptoms of a thyroid being underactive, but I had all sorts of other symptoms. So that was a bit perplexing to the endocrinologist. So I thought, okay, I'm going to need to do something about this, because he said, right, you'll have to go on thyroxine. It's the only way we're going to correct your thyroid. Even though he was, as I say, perplexed, because I had several blood tests. One time the thyroid was underactive, next time it was overactive. So it was like a pendulum, which is, in his mind, he felt a sure result of perhaps the vaccine as well. But he wasn't 100% sure. So when he said, oh, yeah, you need to take thyroxine, I was determined that this wasn't the right way to go, because I'd never had health problems like that before. So I knew yourself, Aisling. I knew you from all the way back, Girl Against Fluoride. And I knew about your health school. So I was like, there's got to be another way. So I contacted yourself and was able to join your health school, and there was just no looking back after that. Just gave me invaluable support and information about what was going on with regards to inflammation in my body, and gave me all the recipes and everything to help me get my body back to where it should be. So the consultant endocrinologist was a really nice guy, and he would ring me actually on quite a regular basis and ask me how I was, how my symptoms were, etc. And I told him what I was doing, and said that felt that it was a direct link. And he said, oh, fair play to him. He said, I'll do a bit of research myself. And he did come back to me and he said, we think now actually there is a link between the inflammation that you've got in your body. So that made me even more determined that I was going to do this with you, Aisling, using food as the medium to heal, for my body to heal. So joining the health school was just like a joy. I learned so much about the Epstein-Barr virus, which I did know a tiny bit about, but nowhere near as the in-depth knowledge that you were able to give me. And the understanding that came from that was just brilliant. So we started on the juicing and the healing soups, and it took me a good while. I was in the school a good few months, and I knew this was going to be a journey that I'd have to commit to. So we went vegan, no stimulants whatsoever. It was a huge change for me. I was it's kind of tottering between being a vegetarian and then very occasionally thinking, oh, maybe I just have a bit of chicken, so, or a little bit of fish. So it was a big change for me. But as I say, I was so determined that this was the way to go, and I wasn't going to be going on any medication. So the support from the health school was just fantastic. So I really submersed myself in all the juicing, the detox smoothies, the lemon juice in the morning, and it became a routine that I quickly got into and really enjoyed making everything from scratch. I think it was about 10 months, I think it was at least 10 months that I was unwell, but after changing my diet to vegan and following all your support and advice, it was quickly being turned around and I could feel my energy coming back. Because I'd gone vegan and was so empowered and so in charge of what I was now eating and putting into my body, I just knew as soon as I woke up that morning, I was like, it's corrected. I just knew without shadow of a doubt my thyroid was back to being balanced again. So I went into the hospital, had my blood tests, got a call from the consultant couple of hours later confirming my thyroid had rebalanced itself. And he was just in complete amazement and said, how did you do it? So I told him through nutrition and through Ashling's health school that I totally embraced food, the different types of food that Ashling had advised me to eat. And he was totally blown away. He just couldn't believe it. And even said, can I send you some documentation to sign for me so that I can write about you in my medical journal? Because he said, this is just incredible that you've managed to turn this pendulum effect of my thyroid being underactive, overactive, without any kind of medication, just purely through nutrition and the want to change, to change my way of thinking as well, and through my diet, that I just happily signed the document. And actually felt quite proud of myself and couldn't wait to tell Ashling that this had actually happened and it turned my life around, and no medication for me. So yeah, so that's the crux of the story. And I've continued along that path. And as I say, it's the best routine of the celery juicing, and I've just continued doing that every day. Eat very differently now than I ever have done, and feel incredible. Just feel so good within myself. And even if you do get any type of little symptom or a little cold, I get rid of it so quickly now these days as well. And with referencing the medical medium, I have one of the medical medium books I know Ashling loves as well. There's you can do so much without having to reach for any kind of medication, so yeah.
Just wanted to pick up on one of the points you shared around the doctor talking about the inflammation and the link. Was he linking that to the vaccine?
The
Was he
vaccine, yes, yeah. So he said, when I originally said it's definitely connected to the vaccine, because I've never had health problems before and definitely never had any problems with my thyroid. He was like, oh, a little bit skeptical initially, and then, but fair play to him, he did say, I'll do a bit of research. And he then spoke to other endocrinologists, other consultants in Ireland and in England, and came back to me and said, there is a definite link between the inflammation that you've got in your body. Because even my liver was inflamed, because when I went to the doctor, my own GP initially, she said, right, I've got to just give you Nurofen, because I was in pain. The pain emanating from my thyroid was terrible. I was in tears at night. I'd wake up 2 o'clock in the morning crying with the pain. It was that bad. It was obviously that inflamed. And so she gave me prescription strong Nurofen Brufen that I had to take. But she said, because it's so strong, you'll have to take a stomach protector. So I was like, right, it's like one medication to then counteract another. So when I did that, much through my horror, took these really this strong this stomach protector. The next morning I was yellow,
Liver.
totally yellow. My whole face. I looked in the mirror. I was like, my face was yellow.
Oh,
Rang the doctor in a complete panic, and she said, "Oh my God, stop the stomach protector. It shows your liver is also badly inflamed." So
yeah.
I was like, jeepers. So I guess really,
Mm.
actually, the whole vegan and your healing soups and the whole recipes you were giving me wasn't just healing my thyroid. It was totally removing all the inflammation from my body.
And I think that's a key point for people to hear that, when that inflammation is happening, and I know, say, like if you go to a medical doctor and they'll be prescribing painkillers and things like that, but it's like that is only suppressing the body. It's not actually addressing the root cause. Whereas what we did together was addressing the root cause.
Yeah,
And if the body is showing inflammation, so when you were saying the thyroid is getting inflamed and swollen, that's actually a sign of when you have an EBV infection.
yeah,
And that inflammation is happening because the body's trying to actually, it's like all the defense in the body is going to try and clear that infection, clear that inflammation. And then when
yeah,
you supported it with all the right foods and the supplements that help to support your immune system, that will then naturally lower the inflammation because the infection, and then the inflammation in the liver is all because of the EBV is nestled in the liver. So that is an active infection in the body. It will be showing high levels of inflammation. So then when you're taking pharmaceuticals, yes, they suppress the symptoms, but then that actually makes it worse for the liver
yeah,
because the
yeah.
liver has to process it. So I love what you're sharing because I think it's just showing us how everything is interconnected.
Yeah, yeah. And do you think that if had only taken thyroxine, so instead of if I had given into it and said, okay, I'll take thyroxine, I still would have been filled with inflammation and my poor liver would not have got the healing that it needed. And other organs probably as
Yeah.
well would have been totally overloaded with inflammation. It would have taken so long to have got all of that, if ever, all out of my body without all the detox. And it was like, I could feel it like washing out. And I think I purged that vaccine out of my body. And the consultant was actually so concerned because of my symptoms that he was like, "You have to be exempt from ever taking any of these vaccines again." He said, "You just cannot risk your health by taking any more." I didn't need any convincing anyway.
As well, because I think with the COVID vaccine, that has reactivated or triggered Epstein virus in a lot of people. If it
Yeah,
was dormant in the body, it's like it just put it into a full-blown infection. Autoimmune conditions are just like exploding and neurological conditions. So yeah, I just really am so grateful to you for having the courage to follow that path of healing your own body and also to share this message with people and get this message out there because when they can find your story, it will give them hope that they can also do this for themselves, that they can heal their body. Uh,
yeah, absolutely. I was absolutely thrilled, when the consultant sent me all these papers and said, "I would so love you to write about you in my medical journal." He said, "Because I'm just so amazed that this has happened." He said, "I've never seen this happen before." I was so proud that, between the two of us, Ashley, that my health had got back to where it was. Because obviously I must have had, EBV in my body prior to that. And then I had a stressful time in my life, because then you also helped me when was feeling I had a strange dizzy spell before I took the vaccine. And well, it was like a click of fingers. You said to me, "Right, that's EBV. This is what you need to do." Da 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 da. I did it. Disappeared overnight. I was like, wow, this is pretty incredible. So the it's so under informed to people about EBV. And with the rise of these autoimmune disorders, it's got to be, the information is just there in more and more in people's bodies, and they just don't know how to do with it, and they just think, "Oh well, this is it. Well, I've got arthritis, and that's it. I've got to deal with it now," and
yeah.
not think, actually, this is how we can treat it. So it was totally mind blowing to me, and I would never go back to any, to eating in any other way, and just love telling people that this is what you can do as well, and how empowered you feel by claiming back your power, instead of going down the pharmaceutical route and putting a plaster on something that is internal, that you can fix yourself, you know. Yeah.
And how do you feel this has empowered you as a mother?
Yes. So my daughter's 18, and because she saw the way I was, well, basically, I said to her, this is how I'm cooking now, and she totally took it all on board, and she ate all of my dinners that I was doing, and really embraced and loved all the recipes, because they're so fresh and flavorsome, easy to prepare, that she just, so she and took all that on board. She ate and became a vegan for the while that I do go in and out of being a vegetarian now, but I never went back to meat. Also embraced all the recipes, and I was so delighted that I could pass on all of this information to her, in particular about EBV, and she was absolutely stunned, when I was telling her how many people that have it, that don't really, that it sits dormant until something, stress or something else, or diets, make it flare up. And she was just really astounded by all of this. And now we've got her on the celery juice as well, and my husband. So, and just tell everybody, this is the way to go. And then most, the funny thing is, people say celery juice, they're like, well, can I just eat it? Maybe sieve it through my teeth a little bit. And I was like, no, that's not really the way it works. It's got to be in an empty stomach, and you'll feel. I said to them that celery juice is my coffee. I don't drink any caffeine still. And I said, I have my celery juice in the morning, and I'm like, whoa, I'm ready to go. I'm ready for that. I can feel it. It's going into my cells. It's helping all my organs, and I feel amazing on the celery juice. So I gave it to my daughter, and she sipped it tentatively, and she went, oh, actually, this tastes okay, which has been the reaction of a few people I've met that I've managed to persuade to go on to celery juice. They've said, actually, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So that's just been brilliant. So yeah, it's been lovely to, to pass all that information on to the next generation. And she's told, she loves going to her gym and eats really healthy as a consequence, which is what every mother wants to hear,
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Rachel. It's an absolute pleasure to hear your story and to be able to share this with others, that you are a lighthouse of possibility, and that, yes, if you have any thyroid conditions and you believe that your body is working against you,
Mm.
I just want you to drop that right now and know that your body is always working for you, and you can heal any autoimmune condition using food as medicine, and in the process claim your power and the intuition that you
Mm.
can always heal your body. So any symptoms that come up, that you actually have that power to heal when you have the right tools and support. So yeah, it's really exciting to get this message out there.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, without a doubt. I showed it from the rooftops.